Welcome, and you are watching Loops and Lore with Meg. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my Tome Infinity and Beyond Readathon TBR, which is also going to be my April TBR, because these are most likely going to be the only books that I get to within the month of April. So, without further ado, let's start talking books. If you do not know what Tome Infinity and Beyond is, it is a readathon that I will link the announcement video below. But it is a readathon I created years ago, like 6-7 years ago. And I decided I'm going to bring it back because it's my booktube child and I love it. So I wanted to go through and bring this back and share it with you all because it is so much fun. And it's all about celebrating sci-fi and sci-fi books in general. For this video, I'm just going to go super quick through the books that I'm going to be reading and rolling the challenges that I need to complete. So let's do my first roll for the first set of challenges. Okay, let's see what I'm going to roll for Solar Frontier. I'm going to roll twice and then see what 2 challenges I need to fulfill. A 6. So this is Meteor Shower, and it is to read a book by an author you've never read before. Okay, let's do roll number 2. A 3, which is all the way down here with the rocket, and this is Rocket Orion, and to read a book featuring technology or AI. So I need to either find a book that completes both of those, or maybe pick one for each. So for my first 2 rolls, I have to read a sci-fi book that is like a new to me author, and to read a book that has AI or technology at the forefront of it. I have decided to pick a book for each of these challenges. So for new to me author, I want to give Orbital by Samatha Harvey a go. It seems like it's going to be really interesting, and it's been very buzzed about and talked about for the last year. And it is a sci-fi that follows, I believe it's 6 astronauts on their quest within space. I don't know much more than that. And I kind of like it that way. But it does seem like it's been nominated for a ton of different things. The first thing I saw it for was, of course, Goodreads book choice. I cannot do words today. The Reader's Choice for last year. I think it's also been nominated for some higher other awards as well. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones. But I am going to read that one for that challenge. And for AI and technology, I'm going to continue on with Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the 5th book in the Murderbot series, and it's the first one that's like a non-novella length, although it's still pretty small. It's still pretty short, but it is a full-length novel, so I am going to be going through and reading this one. I'm so excited to continue on with Murderbot and see where all of this is leading up to within this book, and then I have more novellas after that, which is very exciting. And I guess I should tell you what Murderbot is about. The first one is a novella, and it is about a AI robotic thing that looks humanoid for the most part, and can kind of pass as this robotic humanoid person. And he has gained control of his governor's module, I think is what they call it. And basically the company that used to control him can no longer control him. And so he is on the loose and solving all these different mysteries and fighting these different battles to protect these people that he has kind of grown fond of, which is a new feeling for him. And it is kind of this thing where all he wants to do is just sit around and watch TV novellas basically, and all these different sitcoms, and he can't, and he's mad about it. And it's such a vibe, but I really love these books, so I'm excited to continue on with this one. So let's see what my next rolls are for the next challenge space. Okay, now let's roll twice to see which challenges I will be doing for the Nebula Expanse. 4, which is Time Dilation, which is to read a book that plays with time, such as time travel, dual timelines, etc. And challenge number 2 for this area is number 2, which is the Asteroid Belt. And this is read a short story collection or novella. So I got a book that has to deal with time, and I think I'm finally going to read a book that I keep on talking about reading, and that is The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. I have been talking about reading this since around November. And yeah, I think this is finally the time to get into it. I really like that this gives me the vibes of Loki with the time ministry and that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see how this one does it and see if I like it as much as I like the Loki show, because that's one of my favorite things ever. I really love how it's done. And so if this is done even half as good, then it will be a fun read. For novella, which is my other challenge, I'm going to be picking up A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is, again, is a book I've been meaning to read for a while. So I am going to go ahead and get to this one and see what I think about it. This is a short novella about a world in which there are no more technology, I think, but suddenly there are these robots that come back to see, like, how the world is doing. I don't know, really, but it sounds really, really good. Becky Chambers is one of my favorite authors, but it says it's been centuries since the robots of Pengan gained self-awareness and laid down their tools. Centuries since they wandered en masse into the wilderness, never to be seen again. Centuries since they faded into myth and urban legend. One day the life of a tea monk is upended by the arrival of a robot, there to honor the old promise of checking in. The robot has one question: what do people need? But the answer to the question depends on who you ask and how. They're going to need to ask it a lot. So I think this is going to be a really fun, kind of thoughtful book, which is what I'm looking forward to. And I think that's what Becky Chambers does really, really well. So I am planning on reading that one this month. Let's see what the final set of challenges has for me and see what I'll be reading for those. Okay, now let's roll for the Cosmic Rift. Let's see what the first one is going to be. It is a 3, which is Solar Eclipse, and this is to read a book from a morally gray character or an anti-hero. And roll number 2 is going to be a 6, which is Final Transmission, which is to read a book that marks the end of something, such as the final book in the series, or the last book by an author, or something of that nature. So for morally gray / anti-hero, I had a really hard time finding something that I thought would fulfill this and that I wanted to read. So I decided I am going to try Start a Villain by John Scalzi. This is about a man who has inherited his uncle's like supervillain business, I think. I don't know much more than that. I do know it's getting a little bit like hit or miss reviews. And I just realized I probably need to check and make sure this is actually sci-fi. Because in my head it's sci-fi because it's John Scalzi, but I don't know that it actually is sci-fi. Yes, it says science fiction as the first category. So we're going to continue on with reading Start a Villain by John Scalzi. And yeah, it says inheriting your uncle's supervillain business is more complicated than you might think, particularly when you discover who's running the place. I completely read that wrong. So yeah, I think that's going to be my morally gray anti-hero type thing. See how it goes. I absolutely adore the cover with the cat in the suit. I think it's really fun. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to read for that. And hopefully I like it. I do think it's getting quite a few hit or miss reviews on it. So we'll see. For my final book, this was an easy pick. I am going to do The Martian Contingency. I cannot say that word. Contingency by Mary Robinette Wall. This is the 4th book that just came out in the Lady Astronaut series. So therefore, it is the final book that I have to read. as of now. I don't know if there's going to be more books in the series. I hope there is, because I adore this series. But I'm definitely going to be reading this for this challenge. I was trying to figure out a way to work it in anyways, because I am excited to read it. And I know that my friend Jessica is going to be reading it soon, so maybe we can talk to each other while we read it, which would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I adore this series. It is a alternate history of the space race, of what if there was a giant asteroid, I'm pretty sure it was an asteroid, that hit Earth and therefore made it to where in the next, few years, Earth will then heat up and basically have the same effects that happened to the dinosaurs. So therefore we need to figure out a new place to colonize and live. And so it starts with colonizing the moon and figuring out that. And this one is all about them going to Mars. And I'm so excited. The main character of this is really, really lovely. I am excited to get back to her perspective, because book 3 was not from her perspective. And I liked book 3, but I definitely am ready to get back to the main, core people of the book. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this and can't wait to pick it up. So that is my TBR for the Tome Infinity and Beyond Readathon. If you're reading any of these, let me know, because it'd be really fun to know if people are reading the same books or not. I cannot wait to see everybody else's TBR videos that come out and anything else that comes out about this readathon. I love seeing just people sharing and enjoying the same things, and I hope you enjoyed this readathon. So let me know down below if you have a TBR coming out, or what is on your TBR. If you do not have a booktube channel, I'm excited to see what everybody is reading. I did go through and make a storycraft challenge for the Tome Infinity and Beyond readathon that I went ahead and just selected to last the whole year, so that way if you do want to come back and complete any of the other challenges, you can. I will link that down below too. So that is it for me. I hope you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. So happy reading, stay cozy, stay crafty. Bye!